Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to the second take of another episode of Coffee Talk Live. This is the show where my guests and I explore what it looks like to live a sustainably healthy life as mothers for ourselves, in the home, and in the community. I'm your host, Connie Pastorius, founder of Pastorius Fitness, online coaching for overwhelmed moms who are ready to get stronger, gain energy, and reclaim their health. And I'm also the founder and woman in charge right here in the Strong as a Mother, Happy and Healthy Living Facebook group, whose mission is to be the village for parents to feel supported so they can live happy and healthy lives while raising happy and healthy babies. So do me a favor, drop a 1 in the comments if you're watching live and a 2 if you're catching the replay. Either way, please don't be shy. It is never too late to add your voice to the conversation. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description of this video to join the amazing group of busy, healthy-minded moms just like you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show so I know that you want to keep getting more of this awesomeness each and every week. Now, let's get to the awesome conversation we're going to have today. I am so excited for you to meet today's guest because she has created the Strong and Confident Busy Moms movement, and similar to me, is an online fitness coach who helps moms take time for themselves so they can have more energy and love what they see in the mirror. And if that wasn't enough, my guest herself is a busy mom of 2 and is joining us all the way from Belgium. So without further ado, please welcome Coach Clarisse Vandendorpe. Welcome, Clarisse.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, it's so good to see you and have you here. First question, what's in the cup today?
Today in the cup, it's green tea. Really nice. I really like it.
Oh, that is so nice. And it's the afternoon for you, yeah? Is it 4 o'clock there? Is that right?
Exactly. It's 4 o'clock. So the day is almost over. Not yet, but almost.
Yes. So 4 o'clock's usually either like nap time, like I get very tired and want to just curl up on the couch, or I have a cup of tea or another cup of coffee like you, and I just power through till bedtime.
Yeah, and most of the time is the time when where I pick the kids. So I need to have a bit of energy,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just.
So let's hear a little bit about you, Clarisse. Tell us how long you've been a trainer, how long you've been training moms, and how old are your kids?
Yeah, so I've been in the fitness industry for almost 10 years. I was working in the gym for 7 years, and just before getting pregnant, I decided to work on my own and to create my own business. And it's been a year. I'm really focusing on moms because when I was pregnant and when I was like really a new mom, I didn't know what to do for my health and my fitness. And my kids are like, Liam is 10 years old and Charlie, she's almost 2.
I love that name, Charlie.
Thank you.
Oh, that is awesome. And I agree. We're very similar. I've been in the industry for a decade as well, and online training. For me, it's my 3rd year, but it really changed in the last year in a great way. But what I learned and recognized in the last 10 years as a coach is that traditional fitness certifications and education does not prepare moms for childbirth and for what happens. I mean, so us as coaches, if we can't like figure out how to make it work or what's happening with our bodies, like I think that, moms everywhere can be a little bit kinder to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Really, I was totally lost during my pregnancy. So okay, I knew I was going to be tired. I knew it was going to be tough some days, but I didn't know what exercise I could do or I shouldn't do, because we hear a lot of stuff. We can go on the internet and we can see whatever we want. And well, not the worst part, but after when you become a mom, like nobody tells you how it's going to be. Nobody tells you you're going to feel, tired, you're going to feel crap, you're going to feel happy, you're going to feel sad, you don't know, and no one is telling you that. And that's a part of my job today, and telling, moms, it's okay to be not perfect every day. And it's okay to have days when you are off, and it's okay to have really good days. And that's what I'm trying to do.
I agree. I agree. There's no like checklist or like, okay, it's week 1 after you have your baby. This is exactly what's happening. Or on the other side of things, people tell you just their experiences. So either they often like say like, oh, you're going to be miserable. You're going to need this. You're going to need this. And they're speaking only from experience. Or we learn from our own mother's experience, which they learned a completely different set of beliefs and ideas around exercising and childbirth and all that stuff. So tell me what you think was the biggest challenge when you did start exercising regularly after you had baby.
Really, it was my motivation. I was really having a big lack of motivation because I was, taking care of my clients. I was taking care of my kids. I was taking care of my house and my partner. And when it was like, time for me, I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to do anything. I just don't know what to do. And that's when I work with a coach. I say, okay, you need to take care of yourself. So if you want to do it correctly, just work with a coach. And that was so the first really hardest part. And then it was like, taking time for myself and say, you have the right to take some time for you. And you don't have always to work or to take care of the kids or take care of the house or, to be busy with something else. Just take time for you.
So I'm curious, you have a 10-year-old and you have a 2-year-old, and it sounds like, if I'm doing the math right, you had your 10-year-old right as you were starting your fitness career. So do you remember?
It's not me. It's not really my child. It's my wife kids. So she had him before. And when I met her, he was 4.5.
Okay.
So it was like, it's quite different. What I'm experiencing now with Charlie, I didn't experiencing with him.
Tell me more about that.
So I'm really, like when it's your first kid, you are like impressed with everything they do, or they are like, learning. And my wife, she's more like, yeah, it's normal. And you're like, no, but no, it's the first time I see it. So no, it's not normal. And when I was at the beginning with her, I was mostly training at the gym, so it was not at home. So it was really, really a lot different than now.
Yes, totally. And I'm curious if anybody's listening in, let us know how old your kids are. If you're watching this because you want to find out how you can exercise with busy kids, whether you have whether your babies are full grown adults, whether you have elementary or high school age kids, or if you're like me and Clarisse and are still in baby and toddler world. I have a 2.5-year-old Remy who, like Clarisse said, every single thing that she does is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we want to spend as much time with her and be as present as possible, but giving ourselves permission to take the time away from being a mom to taking care of ourselves is a very important thing to do, but a very hard thing to execute. You mentioned before that your energy levels were something, or your motivation was something that was really hard. And I definitely agree. When I decided to start exercising again after my 6-week checkup, I wanted to run a race. So I was like, okay, I know how to train for a race. I know how to progress. I know how to, stretch and do these exercises, but I still had the relaxin hormones in my joints, and I was running like somebody unscrewed all the screws in my joints, and I felt like I was flopping all around, and I felt like winded and very tired and unmotivated. So I think it's an important point to recognize that your body is not the body that you had before you had a baby.
Yeah, and that's why I'm telling like most of the mom I'm training, like you have to accept the body you had before is not coming back. It will never come back, and you have to accept the new body and deal with it. And it's really hard. It's been almost 2 years for me, and sometimes when I look at my shape in the mirror, I'm like, wow, what's that? And it's easy to say to other people, but it's not really easy every day to tell it to yourself. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff we don't know about, hormones levels during pregnancy and after pregnancy. And a lot of women thinks like, yeah, I did my 6-week checkup. I did my, I went to the physio. It's okay. I can do whatever I want. And they try to get up from the bed. They're like, oh no, what's happening with my abs? Well, you need to train them again. Yeah, but I used to, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, so I noticed that, and you tell me if your clients do this too, they keep not understanding why the workouts that they did before don't work now. And it's not just a physiological issue, but it's also a bit of a time management issue. Like, yeah, when you had time to go to the gym for 2 hours and, take pictures and, rest and text between sets and not be rushed, that was a different life. So expecting that you can just go back in and do that stuff, especially if you're doing this at home, or especially if you're more in a time constraint, it's a bigger challenge, and it's different based on the age of each kid.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Like, yeah, that's right. When I was at the gym, I wouldn't care if I was taking, 2 hours, like you were telling, but no, like 20 minutes, it's fine. It's like, yeah, I did it. And it was only 20 minutes. And I'm not interested, like you were talking about, race. I was running a lot before, but no, I'm not having fun with that kind of stuff. So I try to do something else and really take that in consideration, my pleasure, and not force me to do some stuff because I have to.
That's a really good point. So the exercises that you used to love, or the motivation behind why you were doing these workouts before, might not be the same now. And that's, again, trying to fit the square peg in the round hole, saying, oh, I used to run. Why don't I love running now? Well, maybe you're a lot more tired. Maybe you don't want to be away from home. Maybe like your mental health is just different and you don't want to tune out anymore like that. And I love this idea. If anyone, or if you've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, he talks about going into a period of exploration where you just say like, all right, in this time frame, pick a month, pick 2 months, I'm just going to try a bunch of stuff and I'm going to see what I like now. And I love applying that whenever you don't necessarily, you're like, oh, I don't want to lift weights right now. I don't want to do HIIT workouts right now. Well, let's find out what you do want to do. And now that we're in all these different restrictions with COVID and where we can actually do and what we can do, it's going to take a little bit of patience and I think a little bit of kindness. And I think that's my next point, is being a lot kinder to yourself when you when you come up against a barrier.
Yeah, that's totally right. I was raised in a family, so I've got two sisters. They are younger than me, and both of my parents are, you know, teacher at university. I was never good at school. I never liked it, but I was raised like in a way, you know, it's need to be tough. It will be tough. You just, you know, it's like that and do it. And we were raised that way, sort of, you know, really strong, really strict. And you can't fail. You know, failure is not, it's not for you. And I used to be like that, and it's really caused me a problem when I was a new mom. You know, I needed to control everything. I needed to know everything. I couldn't be tired. I couldn't feel, you know, some kind of emotion. And I say, no, you can't do that. Be kind to yourself. And it's really something I learned to do, like for the past two years now, to be kind with myself. But I think I've got great opportunity to do it, but sometimes I see some of my clients, they are like, you know, 50, 55, even 60, and they are only learning now because I'm, you know, I'm telling them, you can be nice with you. And they're like, what? I can do that? Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's like the no pain, no gain culture, or just suck it up and deal with it. That's a very unhealthy approach to exercise and to taking care of yourself. I remember taking like, so I've done progress photos. You've done progress photos for a long time, and I was like, okay, I'm going to see how I progress after I have my baby. And I remember seeing my first postpartum picture. And I was like, I don't know this person in the photo. And, you know, being similarly, like, not, I don't know, I'm not sure how controlling I was, but I was very intentional about how, like, what level of physical fitness I was at, and keeping like the body that I felt comfortable in. And then all control goes out the window when you get pregnant, and you just eat whatever your body's willing to keep down, and you are just at the mercy of the universe saying, like, please God, let this be a healthy birth and let me survive it and let me take care of my baby. So we come out of this this trauma of childbirth, and we have this unfamiliar version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, some people, some women equate that to this, like the same idea when they've gained 10 pounds and they're like, oh, I need to take this off as soon as possible. But so much more is happening, and you have so many more priorities in the beginning, that being able to accept that this is a process, it's going to take time. And the faster that you can accept that and just sit with this body, the easier the process is going to be. So something I just brought up with my clients in a coaching call was, oh, you know what? I think it was also one of the weekly challenges was looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, thank you to yourself. Thank you for this body, for taking care of my baby, for being able to take care of me through all of this, and practicing self-love, which can be a very unfamiliar feeling. You agree?
Yeah, I think so, because I heard something pretty tough during the week with a new client. She's like 20, 23, 24, I think, something, and she had her baby like 1 year and a half ago. And she said to me really straight that way, she said, yeah, my body now is like that because of her. And I look at her and I say, yeah, but no, your body is like that because you had her and because it allows you to have a baby. And she said, no, that's because of her. My body is like that, you know, my skin is not the same, my shape. Like, no, but think about that. You had the chance to have a baby. And we stop on the conversation because it's sort of my control to go further with her. But yeah, it's totally a good exercise, to look at you and say thank you. And I'm not sure it's something I'm telling it myself. I'm going to try that one.
Give it a try. It's always a, I mean, even for me, it's an unfamiliar feeling because we very rarely, unless we're putting on our eye makeup, we don't really make eye contact with ourselves in the mirror. We're always looking at everything else. Yep. So to be able to like have that conversation with ourselves, it's very powerful. It can be very emotional, like, and very like emotionally provoking too. So like my disclaimer, like if stuff comes up when you try this, or if it feels uncomfortable and you don't even feel comfortable saying it, that's a very powerful observation that maybe it's a really good opportunity to start practicing.
Yeah, so, I will definitely practice, and then I will give it to my clients.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
The more moms that love themselves, the merrier. So talking about, I wanted to talk a little bit about the progression of, we were talking about our babies and how everything they do is new. And I was interested when, before I had kids, when moms were talking about their kids' ages in months. And I'm like, why don't you just say they're 1? Why don't you just say they're 2? And then you have a kid and you're like, yeah, because a 2-month-old is very different than an 11-month-old. And I was taking this kind of idea of how their routine changes so much. And we adapt to like their nap schedules, their eating schedules. It's not from like age 1 to 5, they nap exactly at 12 o'clock. So maybe we can take that concept and that idea and be a little more flexible with how we structure our workouts at home. So tell me a little bit about how you coach your clients to work out at home when they have young kids or even teenagers. I mean, we could start at the beginning with like newborns.
So when they have newborns, an advice I'm giving her, it's first, if the night before wasn't that good, it's first rest and do nothing else, like laundry can wait, the dishwasher can wait, just rest. If they don't need to rest because the night was okay, take that time to do, to try to put in 10 or 15 minutes of movement. I'm like, just move, just do something, or you're moving, and really, really simple. And after, when the babies are being, getting bigger and older, try to do that when they are at bed. If you can wake up earlier, try to do it. If you still have energy, when it's like 8 p.m., just do it, or try to do it with them. And sometimes I train with Charlie, and she really loves it. She comes next to me, she tries to do the same thing, and it's really interesting because when you look at her eyes, she's like, and she's trying to move in the same way. And I was impressed because the other day she did a lunge, and she was like, what? And yeah, it was really good. And with Liam, it's really more easier because he really likes challenge, and he loves it, and he tries to do always faster than me. Like, it's competition. And she's a girl. And really when they are between the range of 1.5 and when they are teenager, I'm like, just do it with them. It's the same for cooking. Try to do with them, try to ask them ideas. When I train with Liam, I'm like, okay, give me a few movement you would like to do. And we do the same with the food for the grocery list. We ask him to pick 2 meals with the meats, or the veggies and the carbs. So like that, they are into it. But yeah, when the baby, it was when Charlie was 8 months, it was really easy because I was putting her in her seat and she wasn't moving. But after, when she started moving, it was different. Sometimes I planned on 30 minutes, but I had to stop after 10. But it was okay. I still did 10 minutes.
Yes, that's such a good point. The baby phases of like their mobility, it shapes the whole day. I recognize a lot, especially during lockdown last year, that Remy was consistently napping right about at 12 o'clock. So I was scheduling online classes then, I was doing my workouts then, and I could be like, all right, I'm doing this at 12 o'clock, and then I have my routine. But then one day she's like, no, mom, I think I'm gonna start napping closer to 1 o'clock. And then I'm like, what? Okay,
No.
are you sure? Can we try the 12 o'clock again? But you know, an important thing to recognize is when you come up against these barriers. I think of them as like barriers because you can go over a barrier, you can go around a barrier, but some of these things that often stop you when you get into a routine and then something happens. And you have the choice. You can say, oh, this has defeated me. I tried, I failed again. Or you can look at it as an opportunity and say, okay, how can I adapt this to make it work? Because we're not those young people that can go to the gym for 2 hours anymore. So working around and adapting, just the way our kids adapt so quickly, being able to be flexible and adapt your workouts to just work within the life that you have now. And I think that has been a really tremendous thing for me too, personally.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes you need to put your workout on the side, and you can just go and play soccer outside, or just play with the rackets, or just go for walks, and it will be still something. And that's something I'm trying to tell my client: just move, and whatever the movement will be, just enjoy also the time with your kids, because they are part of our life. We can't put them in a box for the workout, or
we shouldn't put them in a box.
Yeah. And put them outside when it's done. It's not like that. We need to find a balance all together. And I know it's quite difficult at the beginning, but the earlier we work on it, and I won't say the easiest it will be, but it will become really smooth with the time.
Yes. So as we wrap up, I think we hit a lot of really important points. So I want to try to recap them. So one of the things that you mentioned, and I do want to highlight, is if a mom had a bad night's sleep before, don't try to force the workout. And I am completely on the same page there, because the one thing that I reinforce to my clients, is that don't even focus on the workouts until you're hydrated adequately and that you've had enough sleep.
Yeah.
Because without those two, everything in life is infinitely harder.
Exactly.
So that was a really good thing that you brought up, and I'm glad you did. Being kinder. You're welcome. Being kinder to ourselves when plans don't go exactly as they do. And that doing some movement is better than just giving up. So letting go of the all or nothing mentality and enjoying the experience, knowing that when we integrate our exercise behaviors and our exercise, like our perception of it, we're showing our babies that it's a healthy thing and that it's a good thing, instead of it being a punishment or something they're not allowed to be a part of. So it's a very powerful and a very awesome thing that we can do for our kids. That's also something that we're doing for ourselves. So my last question for you is, what do you think one action step is that a mom who is listening could take to incorporate some of the stuff that we talked about today?
Something I really do with new moms working with me is to look at the whole week and pick just one or 2 days and say, okay, on that day and that day, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have 10 minutes for me without being interrupted by the baby, by my partner, or by other stuff, and just do something you like. It could be reading, listening to music, watching TV, moving, like, if you like to do planks or push-ups or squats or, meditating, yoga, but just do something for you, like between 10 minutes once a week or twice a week, and start by doing that. And the next step is for next time.
That's perfect. That is a great single step. And I know that French is your first language. Is there a message you would like to say in French to any of our French listeners or anybody who would watch later?
Good question. I don't know. What could I say in French? No, something I really like to say in French. Demander de l'aide n'est pas une faiblesse. So asking help, it's not being weak.
Oh, that is beautiful. And that is a perfect example of how to be strong as a mother. It's by asking. So yeah, that was such an incredible conversation, Clarisse. It has been an absolute delight. And thank you so much for joining me on this second version. For anybody who's watching, this talk show is normally on Mondays. I was having a fight with technology and technology won, so we rescheduled. But in the spirit of being flexible, here we are. So let's keep this conversation going in the comments. I'd love to hear your takeaways, your questions, your particular struggles, if we can help you out with them and answer any questions you might have. So Clarisse Vandendorpe, you can connect with her on Instagram. I will put her link in the comment section, and feel free to head to her private Facebook group, Team Superheroes Moms. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to the show, and be sure to click the link and join the Strong as a Mother online community if you're not here already, because I cannot wait to meet you. So until next week, my friends, stay strong, stay caffeinated, and I will see you in the group. Cheers, Clarisse.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Au revoir.
Au revoir.